Hola, gente. This is Dr. Adam Amador, Chair for the Las Cruces Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, coming to you live with Impulso Business Insight Series. We're excited to get this off the ground. This is really going to speak to focusing on our local small businesses, strengthening the ecosystem through leadership development, business education, and economic empowerment. Vamos a chambear con Maria Lupe and the Las Cruces Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you, and thank you, Las Cruces Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, for launching this new Impulso's Business Insights webinar series. Supporting local business, supporting small business is economic development. 53% of new Mexicans are employed by a small business. These business owners and entrepreneurs are vested in our communities. They are our neighbors, our friends, and our family. Please enjoy this series. Learn best practices, share best practices, or refresh. And again, thank you for supporting the Las Cruces Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. This is John Munoz, Mayor Pro Tem, City of Las Cruces.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. We're excited to be here with you today as people are trickling into the webinar. I hope that you had an opportunity to enjoy our welcome messages in the waiting room, got some information about upcoming events that we have in the chamber, and thank you for joining us. Let us know if you are here. We want to know that you are here. Drop your name in the chat just so we know we're not here by ourselves, but I do see people joining. So thanks again for being here. Hola, hola. Bienvenidos. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Maria Lupe Hernandez Muñiz, and I proudly serve on the board of the Las Cruces Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and chair of the Special Projects Committee, which is bringing you this series. I'll also be your host for today's webinar. Now, we're really excited to welcome you to our very first session of Impulso Business Insight webinar series. Through Impulso, we're bringing together entrepreneurs, experts, and community leaders that are really passionate about fueling growth through knowledge, connection, y comunidad. So we're very excited to be able to bring that to you. Our goal here is simple: to create meaningful conversations that provide actionable insights and practical tools to help businesses across our region thrive. Very, very important mission for us. So thank you for investing your time, for investing in yourself, and for investing in your business. We're going to get started in about 1 minute here. And in the meantime, say hello to us in the chat, and we'll get started shortly. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Beautiful. The chat has been enabled. If you were having trouble with the chat, it has been enabled. So make sure you let us know that you are here. Again, once again, thank you so much for joining us and for being here with us today. So we'll go ahead and get started. If we can have our welcome, bienvenido slide up, please. Beautiful. So again, welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us for today's Impulso Business Insight webinar. Again, I'm Maria Lupe Hernandez Muñiz, board member of the Las Cruces Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, chair of the Special Projects Committee, your host for today, and I'm really thrilled to be here with you all today. Now, before we get started, I'd like to take a quick review of a few housekeeping items to help ensure a smooth webinar and a smooth experience for everybody. So as a reminder, all attendees, microphones and cameras have been turned off for the duration of the webinar. This really is going to help ensure your best experience. I know sometimes you're working and listening, so don't worry. We're not going to, we're not going to have to, you're not going to have to worry about showing your work on screen today. Now, throughout today's session, we're also going to be engaging you in a few interactive polls. We encourage you to participate. Your feedback is absolutely important to us. This is really going to help us understand your business better and help shape future programming that we bring to you. Now, another thing that you're going to notice is there is a react button towards the bottom of your Zoom screen. It's usually located, again, at the bottom. Now, feel free to use it throughout the session to show your support and your appreciation for our speaker today. We'll also be reserving time at the end of the webinar for questions and answers. You can submit your questions at any time during the presentation. If for whatever reason you cannot find the Q&A button, just drop it into the chat and we'll do our best to get to it during the Q&A portion of the presentation today. And finally, today's webinar is being recorded. All of the registered attendees are going to receive access to the recording and any relevant resources following the session. So you'll be able to revisit all of this wonderful content that you're about to absorb today. Thank you again for being here. We're excited to learn, grow, and connect. Let's go ahead and get started. Next slide. So this is no news to many of us. As business owners, entrepreneurs, and community leaders, you know how important it is to be seen, trusted, and chosen by customers. So today's session, the search shift, the new rules of search SEO and AI visibility, we're going to focus on one of the biggest challenges impacting how businesses are discovered today. Now, especially online. Search behavior is changing rapidly, and businesses that are not adapting risk becoming invisible online. And that's not what we want for us here. So this session is going to explore how SEO, GEO, and AI search, Google business optimization, and online credibility now are working together to improve your visibility, to make sure that people are able to discover you, and that customers are building that trust in an evolving digital landscape. So over the next hour, we're going to take a closer look at how modern search is evolving, what that means for your business, and what practical steps you can take to strengthen your visibility and credibility online. Now, before we dive in, I want to remind you that this webinar was created with your business growth in mind. We encourage you to participate in the polls, engage throughout the session, and submit your questions along the way. Now, again, we have the Q&A portion towards the end, but in the meantime, we're really excited to bring you meaningful conversations with actionable insights that are going to help your business continue to thrive, adapt, and really succeed in this changing landscape. Next slide. Now, it truly is my pleasure to introduce you to today's speaker, Miguel Acosta. Many of you already know Miguel because he's incredibly engaged in our community, consistently showing up to support local businesses, nonprofits, and organizations across southern New Mexico and beyond. Whether he's helping businesses grow, volunteering his time, or championing community initiatives, Miguel is someone who genuinely believes in building stronger connections and creating opportunities for others. Now, professionally, Miguel is an account executive at Hutton Broadcasting, one of New Mexico's leading integrated media and marketing companies. He works with businesses to develop strategic marketing solutions across radio, digital, SEO, social media, website, video production, and so much more, helping organizations connect with the right audience and grow their brands. With more than a decade of experience, Miguel is passionate about helping organizations increase their visibility, connect with customers, and navigate today's rapidly evolving digital landscape. His practical and results-driven approach has made him a trusted resource for businesses looking to learn how to grow and adapt. Also, we're incredibly fortunate to have Miguel serving as Secretary of the Executive Board of the Las Cruces Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and even more excited to have him kick off the Impulso Business Insight webinar series with us today. So please join me in giving him a warm virtual welcome to Miguel. Miguel, do you want to say a quick hello before we move on?
Yes. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us, and welcome.
Well, thank you again, Miguel. We are really excited to dive into your presentation. But before we do that, I know we're all excited to hear from Miguel, but we really want to kick things off with a brief poll. So you're going to see a poll pop up on your screen. And I want you to please take a moment to answer this question. Now, question is, how confident are you that customers can easily find your businesses online? Are you very confident, somewhat confident, very confident, or you're not even sure what you're doing or what we're talking about, but you're here to learn? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wonderful. So I'm seeing the answers here, and let's see.
And remember, it's online, because we know how to find most of you, but how do customers find you online?
So I will share that so far, most of you here today are somewhat confident, which means you are in the right place because Miguel is here to teach us the way, to show us the ropes. We're really excited to have him here with us. So now, without further ado, let's welcome today's speaker by using that react button. Remember, I talked about the react button. Show him some love, some hearts, some thumbs up. Miguel, thank you so much for being here with us. This is your time. Take it away.
Thank you, Maria Lupe. Welcome, everybody. Buenos dias. Thank you again for taking time. I know how busy we are each and every day, and so I can't thank you enough for joining us on our first of series. And just want to thank and welcome everybody. I'm incredibly excited to welcome all our Southern New Mexico community to this presentation to share a little bit more and pull back the curtain on this massive digital transition that's happening, and I'm sure most of us are seeing in everyday lives. And we call it the shift from SEO to GEO, or simply put, that's how artificial intelligence, AI, is writing the rules of how local customers find your business. And just to kind of go over, like, if anybody, SEO is search engine, and so search engine optimization, and GEO is generative engine optimization, and so it's using everything that AI can find and generating a lot of times an answer for you. And so, next slide. Yes, thank you so much. So before we start talking about algorithms, codes, search engines, we have to really talk about what makes our region so special. And I believe within marketing, I think the number one thing is learning your market, learning your community, and learning your customers. So as we know, business here in Southern New Mexico is deeply personal, deeply rooted. Local commerce isn't just by, our biggest national chains or who has the biggest budget. It's built a lot on reputation, mutual connections, and organic community authority. We still do believe in shaking hands and doing right by our word. But as customers transition from using conversational voice and AI systems to get recommendations, we have to start asking ourselves as business owners, are we translating the real-world handshake into digital signals that AI platforms can actually understand? Next slide, please. Awesome. So as you look at the picture of the beautiful Oregon Mountains, I think that to me, that makes me think of how local trust works. You build authority by constantly showing up in the community. In this new AI era, generative systems like ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, they kind of work exactly the same way. They don't just guess who has the best business. They search for localized trust, consistent, high authority mentions of businesses across the internet and across the web. If you're not actively building or defend on those digital nodes, your real world reputation gets lost in transitional online. Let's take a look how people are searching today. Next slide, please. So how do customers find you? We're going to launch a poll here in a second, but I really like you guys to kind of think, right? Like we used to use word of mouth, right? That happens, at breakfast or people we know. But today, everything's kind of on our glowing screen, and that's like our one source for everything. So if we could open up the poll, but there's going to be 3 questions here. So I just want you guys to kind of think like, let's say you have an emergency repair, plumber, something, that just kind of happens, right? And you go to your phone. What do you kind of do? Do you do option A? Do you type in like a keyword search on Google and then it gives you a list of like recommendations? You might see like the Google certified and you say, you know what, this is, and you kind of pick yourself, right? Like I know this person or I've heard of them, and then you select it, call them, right? Option B is you ask AI. You go on the chat or you go to Gemini and you literally ask it, right? Like my plumber, some people even show a picture, but you might like say, you know what, my toilet is leaking here, my air conditioner isn't turning on. So those are the kind of answers you give chat, and it generates a suggestion for you. And then C is skip the internet completely, and do you text or call a friend or a trusted resource? And so in the chat, if people could just maybe drop some answers, A, B, C, anything else that there might be that they do. But we're just kind of trying to get a feel for someone, if you want to kind of do it on your phone to kind of see, but just something to kind of get us engaged to what we're going to go to a little further. All right, so I see a lot of answers. I see a lot of A's. Our typical Google search, which is a lot. What I do, A and B. I know a lot of folks, I'll use like chat and Gemini to see which one kind of gives me the answer that I like. And so awesome. Thank you guys for all your input. All right, so these next pictures here are kind of just screenshots of what you kind of see on search. And I used one of our clients as an example in the Ruidoso Alto area. His name is Scott Miller, and it's called Pinnacle Real Estate, kind of a high-end realtor in that area. But I did on Google search, if you look there on the search bar, I did Realtor Alto, New Mexico. And this is just kind of what popped up right away. He pops up organically, his website, and you can click and you could scroll down and kind of go through some more. This is SEO. If we could go to the next one, it's going to show a little bit of a GEO search. So this is actually what they would say Gemini. But as you see at the very top, it kind of says AI mode. So I did a similar search, but it actually generated, as you can see, like some answers for me. It talks about who's the top rated estate agency, where they're located. They have premium brokerages in the area, and it actually has some highlight information, and it shows you at the bottom the source that it came from. And of course, it will have more, but this is what the AI generated as top rated. And then if you see on the right, it actually used 15 different sites to generate that answer, and it's giving you those examples as well. So again, like the information you're feeding the web, right, from blogs to newsletters, just being an authority figure, as it moved you up in SEO is the same thing you'll see with GEO. If you could do the next slide, this is another SEO search when I did it for businesses. And again, you see Pinnacle at the top, and there's some more. It was late, so they were all closed as I was working. And if we could go to the next slide, it's going to show a GEO. Oh, I'm sorry. This is what we do with this is Google Analytics. I think about 2 or 3 years ago, they switched from what they call like a G4 analytics system to what you see now with Google. And this is an overview of it, but with Hutton, we really take everything into effect, looking at SEO and GEO. So this is something that you have on your websites. If you don't have it set up, all you have to kind of do is start going through the Google process, even say, how do I set up my Google Analytics to my website? Sometimes it was set up and it wasn't converted from the old G system, but definitely something you want to look at your website, because the important things on here are engagement times. As you can see, just some examples here, but his average time is 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes on his website, and that's extremely long. And so Google as well is going to move you up based on that as well. They see that people are going to your website, they see the information there, they see people are spending a lot of time on there, and it ranks higher for Google as that builds up. And a little, it has kind of the views. This is a month overview, something that we do with our clients monthly and quarterly, because this is kind of your roadmap in a sense. This is going to show you on your search engine keywords that are working. It's going to show you, where the engagement is. And as you go further down in this, it gives you a lot of details, but this is truly your roadmap to see how customers are finding you and such. If we could move to the next one. This is another snapshot, and this one just kind of goes into the GEO section of it. And it shows similar that the engagement's the same, but it's a different reporting system. And it just showing, how many active users on there. In a month, he gained almost double the users that he's had. And so it's increasing, it gets, it grows, and it's something you definitely want to take a look at. But these are just a little bit of analytics that I show. Very important to kind of see what is working. If we could go to the next slide, please. This is one last kind of performance sheet. This is based on SEO. And if you see on the organic search side, it shows how many sessions they had for SEO, how many engaged sessions, the engagement rate, and just some more, and then conversions. Conversions is really important too. But this is just a more deeper dive that we go through our clients to kind of, again, find the roadmap and find what's working and what isn't working, and how to focus on that. Because marketing dollars are, especially now in today's economy, they're important. And so Google loves taking our money, right? But we want to find the map to say where that affects our business, with a better RPO. Could we go to the next slide, please? And this is one last recommendation that GEO gave us. Like I said, it gives you a complete recommendation of Alto realtors. This was done through Gemini, and you can kind of just see the summary of information that it finds. It actually even went into a little bit more of their top performing agents within the company. So again, just the more information that's out there on the internet, the more it's going to give your potential customers. If we could move to the next slide. And thank you guys for going through. Does anybody have any questions regarding just some of those examples or anything there? I appreciate you guys kind of, it's kind of hard to show some examples, but thank you guys for kind of bearing with me there. Does anybody have any questions regarding search, SEO or GEO on those topics there? Okay, I'm going to move right along. And so this goes into the evolution of search. The first phase was keywords, as we talked about. And it's kind of like a clunky robotic phrase that's put into the search bar. And it's kind of giving you a bunch of suggestions based on that one keyword. Phase 2 is the classic Google links. You might have seen like 10 different suggestions of certified businesses with the Google checkmark. And that was kind of the second process with the links list. Now what you're seeing is conversations and synthesized answers. Customers are asking complex, multi-layered questions directly to AI assistants. And instead of giving them 10 websites to research, it's actually giving them a digital concierge scanning the web to deliver a single verified recommendation. And that's where you'll see number 4 as it gives you like the advice. Could we move to the next slide, please? So here's a statistic that should make every business owner pause. 65% of modern online searches are now 0-click. And what does that mean? It means that nearly 2/3 of people searching for answers get them instantly in an AI overview or search snippets without ever clicking through to a company website. If your entire digital marketing strategy relies solely on getting people to click onto your website link, you're missing out on about 65% of potential customers in the market. To survive this shift, your brand's digital footprint must be structured explicitly that AI engines can scan, trust, and quote your business directly inside the answers. Could we move to the next slide, please? So this is kind of what you're seeing with SEO. I kind of talk about it as the digital phone book. If some of us that are my age remember the phone book and yellow pages, you'd get the yellow pages and you look for kind of that keyword, that industry vertical name, and you kind of go from there and you search. And so the traditional SEO, I kind of, customers flip through categories, they find your brand listing, they click on your website, and the focus here is simply keyword matching and basic direct placement. Now with GEO, generative engine optimization, it's like a local concierge. Imagine walking up to a high-end hotel desk and asking, where's the best place to get a steak here in this town? And the concierge doesn't hand you a phone book, they give you one specific answer. They might give you a couple of options. But GEO is making sure that when the AI concierge is asked for your advice, your business is the single source it confidently recommends. Can we move to the next slide, please? This table lays out the paradigm shift side by side. Traditional SEO targets searches engine crawlers. GEO targets advanced AI assistants like chat and Google Gemini. Under the old model, the goal was to simply push your business onto the first page of search results. But under the new GEO model, the winning value is assuring your business brand is spoken of as the trusted site source in natural conversations. We aren't just optimizing for clicks anymore. We're optimizing for brand consensuses. Next slide, please. So this kind of pointing to the slide, it asks attendees to think about how it's asking you guys, how does AI treat your own industry? I don't know if y'all remember there was like the secret shopper test, but if you guys could open up your AI or your phones or your web browser and just do like a simple search. This one has the same thing, like a suggestion that I have a link. I live here on Sonoma Ranch, and who can be here in 30 minutes? But anything that you guys might use or might see in your business that might affect, if you don't mind doing like a search just to kind of see with AI, not on SEO, whatever AIs you're using, if it's Gemini, Chat, Claude, or anything else, if you don't mind kind of just doing a quick search and seeing about your business and kind of seeing where you guys are at. And when you're thinking about your own business, if someone else asks your AI assistant who's the most reliable provider for your service in Las Cruces, does it say your name, or does it directly straight them to a competitor or somebody you may not even known of, like maybe a national brand? Because their digital footprint is clearer and they have more authority. But if you aren't sure, it's time to start building your shield. Could we move to the next slide? So how do we make AI systems trust our business? We do it by building a digital shield of authentic data. With the internet, they use large language models and they use direct platforms, domain authorities, trusted local networks. If your business details are mismatched or scattered, AI loses trust and suppresses your ranking. I know sometimes with older businesses, there might be like an old website that was out there, or I've seen some with like the Google Maps or something. A restaurant has moved and there's like an old location there, there's old hours, just a few things that Google sometimes doesn't have accurately. So that's something to definitely kind of check on different pages of the web and say, how is our accuracy, right? Maybe there was a shift at one time in business, and just making sure that the internet is accurately reflecting what you're doing every day. Awesome, thank you. So how do we make AI systems trusting? Back to the digital shield, our GEO strategy is built on 3 essential pillars. The first one is technical SEO. We optimize your site's architecture, inject proper scheme makeups, and maximize load speeds so search engines can crawl through you without error. The second is GEO structure. We write highly scannable format content, and this structure makes it easy for AI engines to scrape and find your data and directly cite you. Third is the sync network. We synchronize your critical business profiles across 42 authoritative local and national platforms to guarantee total data alignment. Could we go to the next slide, please? This is what the campaign journey kind of looks like. This is a 12-year plan. I mean, a 12-month plan, a 1-year plan. And we don't expect this to happen overnight. This is the journey and what it kind of looks like. In the first month, we start with a deep technical audits. We're doing setup. We have core markup schemes, and we establish our baseline metrics. A lot of it is getting, the right authority, talking about going through and making sure that everything is, aligned with what we're seeing on the internet. On the months 2 to 3, we're deploying content. We deploy highly optimized SEO and GEO content along powerful regional backlines. In months 4 to 6, now we're doing the review process. We're rolling out interactive NFC tap structures and custom QR tools that rapidly skyrocket your active customer reviews. Month 6 and beyond, we continually defend your search ranking, track your active AI citation, and expand your brand authority. Next slide, please. When you execute this strategy with Hutton, there's a tangible value we deliver to your business. Sustainable long-term growth. We build organic assets that give momentum over time, reducing your dependency on expensive and reoccurring pay-per-click and Google ad budgets. Engine optimization balance. You get a dual benefit strategy when traditional Google ranks while securing direct citations on modern conversational AI forums and your search. Automated directory alignment, real-time synchronization across 42 distinctive online networks, and reputational pipelines, automated feedback systems using email, SMS, and custom NFC touchpoints to generate consistent, positive social proof. You might see that a lot on the internet. You like on social media, you make a comment, or you go to a Google review and you make a comment. I kind of see that some of the companies that are like a little bit ahead of the time, they automatically give you a response, or they're sending you an email, or even sometimes a phone call. They're really getting in front of that. And you might even see those companies, if you did the reviews and the research, you're going to see them usually ranked on the top because they're just always in front of it. Could we come to the next slide, please? So let's analyze your brand. The digital landscape is changing fast, but you don't have to navigate it alone. Let's make sure that Southern New Mexico's gray eye search engines point customers directly to your door. Before we open up the floor to questions, I want to invite every business owner on this Zoom. We had a QR code, but I'm going to give my information a little bit more further here. And we would like to do a SEO, GEO audit of your website. Some companies have more than one, but if you could email it to me, which I'll give it to you here in a little bit, we show exactly where you stand on the data, if it's mismatched, and how you can become AI ready. So we would really like to do that, give you a little further search and information as we dive into where you're at on the AI forms. And so anybody would like to email me, we'll show it here, but it's Miguel@LasCruces.com. And I would just kind of need your domain name, and I can run an audit and then maybe go and review it with you a little further after that. Next slide, please. So we're going to take another poll, and we're going to put which area of digital visibility that your business needs most help with. Which area of visibility does your business need the most help with? Is it improving Google search visibility, SEO, you feel, or optimizing your Google business profile, building stronger online credibility and reviews, or you're just not really sure where you need to start? And so
Miguel, I'm seeing the answers coming on my end, and right now it's almost equal to building stronger online credibility and reviews. And the second one is not sure where to start. So that tells me, again, you're in the right place. Anything else to add to that, Miguel?
No, it's exactly, I think, where a lot of us are, right, too. We, as business owners, you're really great at what you do. And I know I get busy with everything that we do each day. And so a lot of times, as you're successful, we do put that aside and kind of go about our business every day, and then we focus on it when it fits in our time frame. And so I've seen a lot of businesses that have been able to hand it off to Hutton, and it's just really made their, their peace and their everyday lives just so much better. Where you have some professionals that are in front of it, you have questions, you can call. Like I said, we do reviews once a month, quarterly, and you're really getting the roadmap. Because I think as business owners, you do know your customers, you know your potential customers, but there's always more that's out there that that we want to capitalize and bring to the forefront and show how great your business is. And so that's one thing that being on the internet and trying to make sure that it's up there with your standards and reflects your business as it is definitely something that business owners are dealing with every day.
Well, thank you so much, Miguel. I know that you gave us a lot of nuggets, a lot of valuable insights for us today. And it's really evident that, business discovery infrastructure has really now evolved, and where it now has to be sort of the full package, right? Where you now have to include that, make sure that your website is AI optimized. You have your customer reviews, your listing accuracy, SEO, GEO content strategy. Like, you have to make sure that all of that is strong and designed in the proper way in order to make sure that you are actually showing up online as one of these trusted sources, right? So I know that it can be overwhelming for some, especially for a lot of solopreneurs or small businesses that don't necessarily know where to start, which, based on the poll results, a lot of us here feel that way, right? We thought we were set up. SEO was a thing for such a long time, but now with this new way of AI search, we're realizing, wait a second, we now have to go back. So, your offer about offering the audit for our attendees is amazing, because I think it's really something that's going to be beneficial in making sure that we at least have that roadmap, right, as to where to go from now. So again, thank you, Miguel, so much for everything that you've shared. And before we move on, please let's show Miguel some appreciation. If you're finding today's session helpful, please use that react button, show some applause, some hearts for him. I know that we've covered a lot of ground today, whether it's from SEO, AI search, Google business optimization. And we really want to make sure that this content works for you, that you're putting this to use and having the information you need as you're running a business, as you're running marketing strategies, to make sure that you're doing what's right for your growth and visibility. So thank you for participating in the poll, because again, it gives us insights as to where we are here locally, but really just, where we need to go. So thank you again for that. Now, we're ready for the next part. So the next part here, we are getting ready for our Q&A. Now, for our Q&A portion, we're going to begin answering questions. If you have any questions that you dropped into the Q&A, we're going to look through that now. If you didn't find the Q&A button, just drop it in the chat if any of them came in through there. Now, I also have a few questions for Miguel if we don't have any questions at the moment, but let me take a look at the Q&A portion first. Okay, so we have a question. Miguel, can you explain the zero-click concept again?
Zero-click concept, yes, totally. And so what the statistic that I showed is that 65% are not zero-click in businesses. So before, your typical search was SEO, and you had the keyword research. So depending if you're looking for a realtor, plumber, X amount of you're putting that keyword search in SEO, and then you're getting suggestions from Google, right? It started with the Google check mark, the blue ones, and so you might see different plumbers that pop up, and what you see at the very top of search are the Google ads. It's usually like someone national that you see pop up. And so when you click, if you were to click that first suggestion that Google gives you, Google is charging them that pay per click. And it usually generates them to a Google page. Sometimes it's a Google phone call, because you might say it says call. It's whatever their call to action is set up with Google. And a lot of times it's a phone call. Google records it, and you can actually go through those calls because you're paying per click. What we do with a lot of our clients is we do a review of that month, because we get a lot of those pay-per-clicks refunded back. I mean, everybody that's looking for you, like, they record all the phone calls. So we had a lawyer, and people were just calling them, like not for sale, but like current customers were already calling them, but they were still searching for their number. And so you're able to go back with Google and say, look, that wasn't a potential customer or the current customer. They were looking for this, and whatever that pay per click is where that refund comes back. But with a Google ad, I mean, we run Google services, or if you're doing them on their own or you're paying someone, your Google ad spend budget is what you're paying per click. And you can always search keywords, but you'd be surprised. Some are very low and some are extremely high. I think the lawyers are like $4 or $2 or $3 per click. And so you can imagine in a month's time how much money you can rack up with Google. But what they're seeing now is 65% less click-throughs. And that's where Google is really scrambling, because they're losing money on their pay-per-clicks. And so AI is giving you a suggestion. They're not having you click. They're giving you a recommendation. If it's a lawyer, plumber, they might give you 2 or 3. And it does give you the website, but where they're getting the information. But with GEO, you're getting a straight one answer or two, and it's just directing you. So that's the difference between paid per click and the GEO and what you're seeing now, if that helps.
Thank you so much for that thorough answer, Miguel. We do have another question come in. What is the step? What is step one if you are not in tune with GEO? Where does one even begin?
Well, definitely I think the best way to start is that website audit. They're going to show you where you're ranking on GEO and SEO. And again, GEO is searching everything that's like authority on the internet. So if you're not ranking high on GEO, the audit's going to show you where and why. A lot of times you can do the research yourself, because the other thing I was telling you is that consistency across the web. You can kind of see that and see that you're not ranking there. But it's interesting, because if you do the AI search and you're not anywhere on there as a suggestion, you're kind of left like, wow, where do I start? But again, too, the other thing to really focus on, I think, look, if you're not on there, is to kind of see where your services match up and where AI, is the suggestions and what they're looking for. Because again, like depending on what you do, you want GEO to find you, but you also want it to be specific to what you do great and do well at, because it's not just like a brand building where, the X amount of company is the person I always go to for a bunch of stuff, right? It might just be a few things. The same thing with keyword research and the roadmap. But again, to where we start, I would definitely start with the audit. There are some websites that are actually out there too that you could kind of just, even do a GEO search and say, I'm not popping up on GEO, and asking it why. And it's also going to do the research to tell you why you're not there, as opposed to not finding you when you're doing the search. But the audit is really great, because we talked about those. I think it's like 42 different platforms that it looks across, and that's where it's going to show you. It'll search your social media. There used to be a thing we called Bird's Eye that I used to use, and it would do the same thing. You could search, and it would tell you on Bird's Eye where you're not. But that's the similar thing with what we do as an audit.
Wonderful. Thank you for that again, Miguel. And we do have another question. Is there a more effective SEO keyword that you would recommend we use on our websites?
On your websites, yeah, totally. Again, you could do a keyword research for services. I use what I was showing you earlier on the Google Analytics. And if you have Google Analytics, what I use for all the research, or most of the research, it's called Keyword Planner. And it's on there. I actually have to sometimes ask Google how to use it again to build the report that it builds you. But it'll send you a report and actually put it into Google Sheets for keywords. And my boss in Hutton, we do an exercise every Tuesday where we look at vertical industries and we just do keyword researches to see where they're at and what services. And again, a lot of times we find stuff we don't know, or even the customer doesn't know, because we're looking at keyword research and they're doing their business every day, but they don't know. One good example I can use, and I'll show it, is that the realtor in Ruidoso, the number one search thing in Ruidoso is cabins, or cabin homes, right? Cabins for rent. Talking to this high-end client that sells these high-end homes in Alto, he like this was a personal thing. He's been selling homes from the 80s, and he's like, Miguel, and to Art, he's like, I don't want to use cabin research for keywords. He's like, I don't sell cabins anymore. I used to in the 80s, and a hard time. I've worked so hard to get out of that. But when we do the research, we're like, Scott, there's like 20,000 searches a month for cabin homes. Like, you just want to capture some of that audience, right? They're searching for the area you're in, and if you're not focused on it, you're going to lose out. And so again, but it's going back to the research. So on the keyword planner, it's kind of fun to play with. You can just literally search, and you want to make sure your local location is on, because what it does is it does national searches and local searches. Another great example we did was with swamp coolers, and they're very unique to our area only. They when you look at national search, no one's searching for swamp coolers. And so, but again, I would use keyword planner, and I would also use AI to see what are the top keyword searches for your industry.
Thank you for that, Miguel. And I am not seeing any more questions in the Q&A. So we'll go ahead and, unless anybody has a last one right now, we'll go ahead and move on. Now, thank you, Miguel, for taking the time to answer all of these amazing questions. For sharing your expertise with our business community today. I know our attendees have gained real valuable insights into how search is evolving and what businesses can now do to improve visibility with, thank you for all of your engaging questions and engaging activities. It really does help bring everything to reality, right? Rather than just sitting through the webinar, we wanted to make sure to create some type of an experience for you. So thank you all for participating in these short, fun little exercises. And before we wrap up, I'd like to ask Miguel, I know he has special offers for us. One of the things that we wanted to make sure to do is, sure, here's our expert. He's showing us how to do it. But at the same time, do you have something for us that we could potentially take advantage of today? So go ahead, Miguel. I know that you have a special offer for our attendees today.
Yes, we do have a one-time offer here with Hutton, and I could go into a little bit of the details.
Next slide, thanks.
And so, awesome. Here, it shows SEO and GEO search. And so we have a package with Hutton Broadcasting. We used to do the SEO search through Google, and now we do GEO, but we do have one offer that will combine both of the services. If we could move to the next slide. And so, and before we talk price, one thing that I mentioned on the last slide that I didn't is with Hutton, where we really kind of excelled, I think, with all of this transition, is that we run high traffic websites. So we run LasCruces.com, Santa Fe, Albuquerque, Visit Four Corners, and Ruidoso.com. And so, with high traffic website management is where our team really dove in and kind of got the backside of the AI and had to build our websites, at the forefront. And so back again to the offer, this is a visual and digital search package. You'll have SEO and GEO authority, and the special rate that we're offering is $850 a month. We used to charge there's almost the same price for each individual service. And this special package that we have for our clients today, or potential clients, is also with Hutton. We have an HDD network, indoor digital screens. In Las Cruces, we have 60 indoor digital screens, and across New Mexico, we have 350, as well as a hotel channel, Heritage Hotels. Here in Las Cruces, it includes Hotel Encanto. And so with our HDD network, the cost of being on our screens is about $400 to $500 a month, and then also sometimes you have video creation for some clients that don't have a video or they want to shoot some new video. And so with this package, we would put you on our screens this is a 1-year package, so you would pay $850 a month, and not only would you get the SEO and GEO services, but you would also get the HDD screens and a full HD video commercial that you own that asset. And so it's a really great package to kind of get a lot of things going. The content is really great to have too. The video, you can use that for SEO and GEO search across the website. And so your messaging is consistent. and they're seeing the same message. But it's a really great package. If anybody's interested, please give me an email. I could visit with you and give you a little more details and talk about a little bit more how it works. Again, this is what the 12-month process would look like with SEO and GEO services with Hutton. The first month is the setup, technical audits, Google tools, and getting all the access that we need, and then diving in to see, where we're going to go, right, and what we're going to attack. And then months 2 to 5 is where we're rolling out the full campaign, and you're seeing everything. And then as well with this package, we're rolling out the HDD video rotation as well. Months 6 to 11, we're kind of we're scaling up and increasing not your spend, but where it's working. Again, finding the roadmap and seeing where a lot of the leads are coming from, and the conversions and the engagement rate, and that's where the focus will be. Months 6 to 11. Month 12, we kind of do a yearly review and kind of see what the plan would be for the next year. But again, with Hutton, we're always here to help local businesses. We have tons of services. Sometimes it's not just a price, a price point with us. We're a family-owned business, and I think I've been working with Hutton for 4 or 5 years, and it's just a really great company, family-owned, from everybody that they're involved in the community around New Mexico. And we're just really, I think our term, what I learned a long time is we're here to help. And at first I was like, that sounds kind of corny, Art, but it's truly, it's truly what we do. If it's anything from helping nonprofits, to the Chamber of Commerce, and just anything we can help out to help out our communities. We're surrounded in New Mexico, and we're always here to help.
Well, thank you so much, Miguel, for extending such an incredible and valuable offer to our attendees. It's such an incredible opportunity for businesses really looking to strengthen their visibility online and really position themselves as market leaders. We will be sharing Miguel's contact information at the end of the presentation today. We still have a few more minutes to go, but we're going to make sure that you have that information for you to take away with you today. And before we do wrap up today, we want to make sure to take advantage to invite you to a few upcoming chamber events. Our chamber events are where cultura and business come together. So through networking events, educational opportunities, we want to make sure that we're all in this together, supporting one another. And we're going to invite you to a few events. Now, I only have 2 here listed. Trust me, we do a whole lot more, but these are the ones that made it on the slide deck today. So please take a snapshot of this, take a picture. Hispanic Heritage Day 2026 Fan Fest is coming. It's right around the corner. We are inviting you to become a vendor. Saturday, September 26th, we have an amazing package with a lot of different vendor perks that you'll see here. 10 tickets to the NMSU game. I'll let you take a screenshot and read all of the details there. But if you're interested, I've also included our chamber phone number there. If not, reach out to any of us here. We'll be happy to send you a vendor packet. Signups are already underway, so we want to make sure you fully take advantage of this event. The next one here is, next slide, please. Our 29th annual golf tournament 4-man scramble is also right around the corner. Sponsorships are available. Make sure you contact us to make sure we get you participating in this as well. The more the merrier. So please, again, take a screenshot, take a picture. Feel free to contact us if you have any questions or interest in participating here as well. Next slide. And before we wrap up, I'd like to invite you to join us for our next Impulso Business Insight webinar on Wednesday, August 12th. Today, Miguel showed us how to help customers find our businesses. Next month, we're going to focus on how to keep them coming back. So join Gabriela Hernandez, owner of Aligned Amplification Mindful Marketing Agency and a familiar face within Hispanic Media TV. Own your audience, customer data strategies that drive business growth. So we're going to capture more leads, build email funnels, and increase repeat sales. Gabriela has spent her career turning customer relationships into revenue. She led growth for a company through its IPO, has driven millions in revenue growth for the brands that she's worked with, and helped family-owned businesses stay afloat through COVID by rebuilding their marketing and customer strategy from the ground up. on our next webinar. She's showing us how to do the same thing for our businesses and how to turn one-time buyers into lasting, valuable customer base. Together, these two sessions create a powerful growth strategy. First, we get found, then building lasting customer relationships that drive sustainable business growth. I will be dropping the registration link here. If you just give me one moment, I want to make sure that you have it because it is up and running. We are ready to get you signed up for that webinar as well. So you'll see it now in your chat. And next slide, please. Thank you again. That is our time for today. But remember, whether you're just starting out or looking to expand your reach, the Las Cruces Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is here to help your business thrive. We're committed to bringing meaningful programs, valuable resources, and strategic connection that support the success of businesses through our region. Join us at our events, explore our membership, become part of our community that's investing in the future of our business and our region. And one more final thank you to Miguel. So please use that react button again for sharing your expertise, resources, and insights with us today. If you'd like to learn more about improving your online visibility, please take a picture or a screenshot of Miguel's contact information before you log off. You're also going to find a QR code on this slide with information about chamber membership. If you're not already a current chamber member, we welcome you to scan it, learn more about the benefits of membership, and discover how the chamber can support your business journey. Thank you again for joining this kickoff session of Impulso Business Insight webinar series. Please keep an eye out for our post-event survey, the link to the recording. Your feedback always helps us shape future programming and resources for our business community. Thank you again. Saludos. Have an amazing, amazing day. Thank you for being here. Have a good one.
Thank you,
again.
everybody.
Bye-bye.